Right, so we had lots of news. We had China that apparently stopped buying, which I don't really believe, maybe officially. We had data, inflation, FOMC, just, PPI, whatever, some inflation data. The data's fully cooked anyway, but let's just see, because everything is represented in the chart. So whatever happened is reflected in this picture. And I don't think there's any news tomorrow on the Chicago sentiment. So let's just look at the charts, right? Cut through all the noise. Now, it's quite a lot of noise. So we had DXY going up, and then bam, news event, this FOMC related. And then FOMC, that day we start off with inflation data, which went one way, and then the other. My God, would have been worthwhile trading that inflation pop in pre-market and then buying back. But anyway, it's not that I stopped those days, but I just didn't think about selling. It would have made sense. I mean, there were some stocks like CDE up 10%. And then in the middle of FOMC, you've got it up like 1%. You've got 10% swing in a day. And then today, Thursday, it's red. So you could have made huge swings, and I didn't, which is actually rare. In the past, I would have done that easily, and I regret that. But it is what it is. I'm looking for the longer term, bigger bucks, and that's what investing is compared to day trading, let's say. So DXY, we've closed above 105. I said that here and then big swing, but where are we now? And remember, tomorrow's the Friday, so weekly close could mean a lot. If the DXY can hold the 105, the close above 105, really next up is 106.5. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to make it because you've got this data that's just swinging it, but it should be more likely if it closes above 105 to make its way towards 106.5, at which point it reaches resistance. Now, what's helping that? Well, I would normally say yields, but yields are not going up. That's what makes the DXY move less credible. I mean, it's yields are going down. 30-year, look at that, new low close. 10 years, same thing. 5 years, same thing. 2 year, almost the same thing. Worst close in a long time. Okay, it's outperforming the other yields, but basically looks like they all want to go down a bit, right? That's just because of the news, right? That's what the news did to the chart. So yields down, dollar up. One of them's wrong, or maybe it's just a temporary divergence. I don't know. Very interesting. It's quite hard to get my head around that. I mean, to predict the next move in the next 1 or 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, it's interesting. Gold down, okay. Not the most aggressive move down. When I look at this chart, if I wanted to be neutral, and it's hard because I'm very biased with gold, I would say that decision's not yet made. It's got to break, it's got to close either below this trend line here, let's call it 2280, or it's got to break out this descending. What I would say is the next 1 or 2 or 3 days is very important because either it sort of does that, it closes below, retests, and then boom, this is the part where it just basically says I want to go down here. Or you've got this, maybe it's a fake breakdown. Otherwise, it really does hold, a nice hammer. Okay, I've ruined the chart too much to make a hammer, but like a nice sort of reversal candle here, and then up we go, and there'll be a bit of resistance because we're here and down, and then we're gonna break out this, and who knows, maybe a back test. I don't want to just do the invincible thing where I say this can happen or this can happen, but it's too early to say. I would say that this looks a little bit bearish, little bit, just because of today's candle, really. And also yesterday's candle, that Wednesday, that was quite a close far from the high. I mean, we saw it, it just reversed. It lost a lot of its power there intraday. Silver is, well, you would say even worse, but this support here is pretty good. And maybe this support can help that gold fake breakdown take place, that sort of it's going down. Oh, silver's at its massive ascending support. Up we go. And that creates that hammer that then says, oh, maybe it's a fake breakdown. And then the butterfly effect takes care of the rest. It just goes up here. Do you know what I mean? It could be that silver saves gold. Now, today's silver candle was not very nice, worst close in a long time. I say that, but it did bounce nicely there. That's what the ascending is supposed to do. and we're kind of closing around that 29 level. 29 should be a level. It is. So it's all about this. It's all about holding this. And you can dip below intraday, but close above. So tomorrow, if we have a red day in the metals, because it's a Friday weekly close, we need to close within this ascending. And that's when I have to make sure that I've drawn it quite well. I pretty much have. But thereabouts, like 28.5, let's say, close above 28.5. What would be good is a big move down, early on, and then this close above 29, like a blue hammer reversal candle, which would translate in gold pretty much the same thing, like a nice hammer in it. Just make sure it closes above 2280, preferably 2300 actually. A close above 2300 in gold, and then silver doing the equivalent would be nice setup for next week reversal. And I still think the metals and the miners, which I'll get to right now, are dip buying assets. I really do think, it looks bad, but come on, we're in a bull market. I'm not scared of this at all. It's annoying. Today wasn't a big down day. Yesterday was annoying. I mean, this whole move has been a bit annoying because I hadn't sold into it. I actually bought into it, which is rare. And I knew what I was doing, and there you go. I should have sold more on the way up. I should have held back on my buys, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I still think 1.5 years from now, this is just GDXJ in the 100s. So now, GDXJ, where do we go next? Well, are we on a bit of a level? A little bit of a level. I just say that because of this, but not really. Down here, if we have a reversal, hopefully that reversal that early dip in gold and silver, I hope it happens during regular hours so that I can actually buy this level here. I don't think it's going all the way down here, by the way. It could be like 40.51 or something. But if that reversal happens before GDX, market opens, then you'll be getting this, whether you'll be getting it or not lower. I don't know, it could end up opening green, but this is a level. Okay, on the way up, where would be resistance? Where would be resistance? Probably something like this for GDXJ. I don't want to say 42. I feel like it's here, the high of today. Also, that little candle there. I don't know, a little bit, something like that. It's quite hard to tell, actually. Maybe 42 also, just because of these and the round number. I know I'll go with this. Basically, Thursday's high of day in case we reverse. But it's not really like resistance is not my issue. I really want to support. I really want to focus on the support, and I feel like this level here, basically above 40, but 40 is massive support, very clear, very obvious, and that'll probably coincide with the lows that I've just pointed out in gold and silver. SILJ, they all have the same chart. I think 1080, 11's too high. 1080, but then again, silver could outperform, right? Because it's got that ascending support, so maybe it would be 11. Otherwise 1080, otherwise 1060. I mean, you can see what I mean, right? Basically here. But if you want it, honestly, probably buy here if silver's strong, depending what's happening on the market open, if the reversal's already in effect. Do you know what I mean? This is you got to be smart about this, not wait for that greedy, like, where's support on GDX? Oh, well, it's here. It's 3250. Okay, well, maybe people are buying at 3273 and your little 3250 is never going to get filled. So, a little, if you want to buy a 3250, all right, buy 20, buy half here and then buy half there. Whatever it is you want to buy. You want to put $2,000 in, 1,000 here, 1,000 there. That way, if you do miss your bottom 1,000, at least you're half in. And I will be buying this level. I will be buying this level because I believe in the move. I believe in the move long term. I'm heavily in. I've still got like 15, 14% sidelines today. I didn't buy anything because I'm looking at the GDX charts. I'm thinking, okay, we're still, how much of a percentage move are we from this low? 2%. That's actually not that much at all. But that could coincide with that little flush in silver and gold, and then we're good. But there's that DXY and that yield discrepancy that just I wasn't prepared for that. I mean, it's been kind of forming, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Again, gold and silver have been acting very independent to both, but maybe I can use one of them to get a better price of my entry. So, and then resistance, by the way, on the GDX, yeah, pretty much right there, right there. I agree with that. And it's a big round number, 34. In fact, it might be even better just to watch GDX rather than looking at GDXJ and SILJ. I think GDX, from the number and the technical resistance, is easier to call. So maybe if you're going to trade GDX, gold, silver, markets, dollar, yields, maybe those five charts are sufficient. Okay, let's look at the actual miners. They were down. They would want that down. By the way, what the hell happened to Goldfields? GFI, I don't own that. I think that got low production because of some bad weather in Chile, something like that. I'll go to that straight away. Look at that. It's horrible. Close at low of day. It wants to go there. If we do have that drop and the miners are down, on the open, this thing's going for 13. Look at this ascending support. Goldfields I like. I got rid of that a while ago. And then it sort of kept going. The usual regret, could have got higher price. And now where is it? But then again, everything's come down. But this has come down quite a bit, especially today. That's horrible. Close at low of day. One of the worst. Okay, Newmont. This is just holding, this is Gandalf's bridge here. You shall not pass at 40. It's just look at these wicks. Pretty nice bounce off the low. I mean, this is clear support, and it's surprising how this hasn't given in. So if you do have a flush and I'm wrong and it goes down even more, like GDX at 40 just gets flushed, I don't believe that will happen, but this gap it should fill. What a gap fill would be here, but this so far is incredible. Another reason why I haven't bought Newmont, because it's just value hasn't dropped enough, and I think I even bought this level already. Newmont is just solid, probably one of the best. So this is support resistance. I mean, just look at GDX for resistance. Plus Newmont pretty much represents GDX. Otherwise, up here 40, and up here you're already testing the highs of this bounce. So I'm not even concerned in resistance. I wouldn't be selling this, 41.20 or something. And I wouldn't be interested in this because once you're closing above 41.20, you're going to probably go all the way up. So forget resistance. It's just about holding that 40. Barrett Gold, let's drop this little level here, but I think that's pretty much, maybe this is the level, pretty much holding the same level. I'm sorry, but there's no difference. This $16, can I call it 16, the level? It's just holding. It's okay. It's, probably the worst close in a long time, but honestly, it's kind of the same as the others. So it's holding. It's okay. Down 2%. Yeah, that's because yesterday it did okay. I think it's, I take a zoomed out view. For me, no difference in the last 3, 4 days, actually. So Barrett Gold holding resistance for me. This is too close. Maybe this mini descending, that can be your short-term resistance. And probably actually this area here is 1740. The high of this candle probably coincide with the descending. Agnico Eagle close near low of day. This one a bit weaker than I would expect. You do have that little support here. That last low it did at 63. Nice round number. But yeah, I mean, normally I would say it could actually come down because this is such clear support. I think that's too much of a move to ask because of where I see some, near-term support in gold, silver, and even GDX. So maybe it just goes down here and reverses and basically holds around 63. Yeah. On the way up, I don't know, very near-term resistance, I guess, here. Otherwise, there, that's clear resistance. Pan America, yeah, this really looks similar to silver, which makes sense. I don't want to delete this because this is all correct in my opinion. These little levels here, yeah, so this area here, let's call it under 1950. 1950 itself is support. You can see it tagged it. You can see it was resistance here. And in case it flushes 1950 and goes towards 1900, what a buy. What a buy there. And then in case that gives way, then what a buy down here, which I don't think I'll get to. But if you have some almighty flush that I underestimated, then 18 clear support. Really strong, and what an amazing bounce trade this will be. So nice opportunity possible there. SSRM, I didn't talk about the resistance, did I? Resistance. Don't know. Here, I don't know. It's probably better to look at silver, but the first clear resistance is going to be here, 2160, and then the old high just below, let's say 2270. SSRM doesn't surprise me. That's weak. Look at that close at low of day. This is my old notes. Yeah, I guess this is support. So 470-ish, which is pretty much where we closed. So it is at support, but look at that horrible close. And it looks like a bit of a move lower can happen. So if it happens when the market opens, then 450, we go to 450, which I don't think we're going to breach because that's still 4% of a move, 5 actually. And I don't think you're allowed to break 450 unless you have another landslide. So those two levels here and 450-ish. Get rid of this squiggly line because it's just too squiggly. Resistance, honestly, you'd probably have to drop that to be more realistic, probably 520 at this point. Wheaton, yeah, that can happen. I mean, right now it's at, I'm gonna have to delete some of these old lines just in the way. So for me, I don't want to call that ascending support, but I'll do it anyway. Yeah, so roughly at support. So let's call it 52.50-ish, right? Especially that low there, 52.25, whatever. It's the same thing, such a big number. If we lose that, yes, I guess 51, big round number, old resistance. After that, I was going to say 50, but yeah, it looks like it's just below 50. Yeah, 49.60 or something. Those two horizontal levels, honestly, it could hit 51 if we have a bit of a move lower, that's for sure. Resistance, probably there, 54.50. If it keeps going up, it's the old high over here. This is really zoomed in stuff. And I usually get this stuff right. Like I can imagine this being resistance. I can imagine this being resistance. And I can imagine 57 in the old high. At that point, you're just going to make new highs. Wheaton's such a strong business for high metal prices with all the assets it owns. For me, that's clear. I agree with that. Next one, Franco Nevada. It took out what I thought was support. I'll delete the yellow. That was a, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That didn't work, so we'll remove that. Does it have some sort of a descending? Is that something? I'll draw it anyway. I usually never have that. Next stop, yeah, 114. How much of a move down? 2%. That could happen if you have a bit of a flush, so I'll leave that. And resistance at this point, something a little far away. Maybe very short-term resistance could be 122. Otherwise, yeah, it's either here or there. I think I just put it in the middle. I'll do that anyway. Something like that. Not much difference there. My last analysis still underperforming. Vitala close at low of day. I thought $3 would be something, but evidently not. So that gets nullified. This you can see why I think that is support. It could even be lower, couldn't it? Let's just do 285. Okay, it's fine. That's what the yellow does. It takes care of a bit below. Yeah, so that's where support will be. And look at that close at low of day. Could easily get there if we have a drop on the open or during regular hours. Resistance, 310 is too close. I'll leave it where it is. You need to give this some room. This needs to run. It was so strong. It's just the sector's dragged it down. I don't think there's any bad news. Down 3%. Not ideal. Right, next one is Metalla. We've moved on from the royalties to the silver stocks. Now, First Majestic, I bought that one yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. I forgot, but I bought it like 620, 630s. So that dropped since that touched $6, which I think is mini support that I didn't count on. Right, well, anyway, this is over. So let's make $6 the next support. And then I've got 580. I mean, it was definitely, I didn't expect it to go this far down. Let's get rid of this. So 580, a bounce, mini resistance at 660, probably $7. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's one of the underperforming silver stocks. Didn't make new highs when others did down here, flushed its ascending earlier than others, and has been weak since, today included. Oh, today was average drop. Yeah, I mean, if silver drops tomorrow with the miners, then we could easily hit 580, and that's a buy. I don't know if I'll buy it because I've got a lot of stocks, and I need to see if it's sort of come down too much so that the value's dropped below a certain threshold. Maybe others are more of a buy at that point because if I have First Majestic down 1%, but something else down 4, I might end up buying that other thing. Otherwise, after 580, I've got this level here, 520. That's far away. Maybe it's time to just bite the bullet and buy at 580 and just check yourself. Is the thesis different? Is First Majestic some fundamental, a stock with some serious issue? No, then it's worth a buy and set it at 760 3 months, well, a month later, maybe. Interesting. I'll keep my eye on that one. Next one, for tuna. That one was one of the strongest ones. And then bam, was it bad news dilution? Same thing. Down we go. Look at this close, not great. Still holding that sort of level. Maybe this is the real level, 480. You can see the touch there, closed above this low. So 480. Yes, resistance, I agree. There'd be 540, maybe a bit of 520, but let's give it some more room. If we lose this, then, and you can see this sort of chop here represents what silver and SILJ have. So at least we've got some sort of reference point, in the general SILJ ETF. But this is a hell of a move. For me, if you lose this 480, let's say close at 478 on a Friday, next week, bam, does it go lower? And how low can it go? 450 maybe, because down to 440 is asking a bit too much. This needs to hold this level because then you can have a chance at a nice pop next week. Let's imagine we reverse and then a continuation problem before you know you're playing the gap fill, at which point you should trim, something I didn't do enough of because even though I think we're going to new highs, this one has had bad news. I think it was dilution and you're filling a gap, and it would be wise to just trim a little bit, especially if it's in profit, I'd probably turn it from a heavy holding to a sort of medium holding. So instead of being worth 5K, like 4, 3, 3.5 or something, I would do just trim it. Maybe Curl Darlene deserves more. Maybe at that point, Heckler is a better buy. So whatever I sell in Fortuna, I throw in Heckler, something like that. But yeah, those are levels I'm looking at. Next one, CDE. This one here, Little Monster. This usually does amazing on the way up, as it's done, and very poorly on the way down. This thing is holding. Now, it is ready to flush, no doubt about it. There are, the ascending can only hold that much. Close at low of day. It's just there, look at the last 3 candles there holding. And if you close below 520, it should flush straight to 5, maybe lower. So it needs a strong miracle, and that miracle is silver going from red to green tomorrow before the market opens, or even market can open, whatever. This can flush, and then this can create a nice hammer. Basically, we need a green silver day tomorrow. And then Coeur d'Arlen's trend is saved. And then you can talk about $6, maybe Monday next week. This thing bounces quickly. So if we lose this, I agree. This is really your next zone of support, $5. It can get there quickly. If it loses that, now this is quite strong, and it's probably for a reason. I don't think it goes down to $4 in one go. That's too much of a 20% drop. Probably 440, but that's still quite a lot. I'd probably look at silver and SILJ or something but I still think we get a pit stop at 440 before we hit 4. So, but this is very strong. Resistance $6, always $6. Need to close above 6. And honestly, a few good days in the general sector in silver, this goes past 6 and goes straight to 750 if I remember. Yeah. Okay, next one. Heckler that I do not own, that I want to own, that I wanted to own yesterday or the day before. It was actually really strong. And then obviously we had that just poor close. So, and here we go, we've gone down. At least it's something I'm happy about not buying. So, I mean, this was a level, right? This 520-ish. Now, here we go, closing below 520. It's not the end of the world. It is a low of day close. Look at this mini gap and $5 psychological number. So $5 is a level. Don't know why I didn't see that before. That gap, $5. How much of a drop is that? 3%. That's definitely applicable to a small red day tomorrow. We could have that little touch of $5 and then up we go and we close green above 520. That'd be beautiful as long as I buy it. I am really considering entering Heckler. Now I zoom out and I think, oh my God, I wanted it down here. I was even telling people to buy here, but whatever, I was buying something else. But it's not about how low you could have got it, it's about where it's going. And if it hits $5, it's probably, I mean, I could enter a little bit there, like 1/3 in. And if it keeps going down, which means everything is going down, I'd probably be looking at other stuff because I have a bias towards the stocks I currently own. You know, if Hector's going down 5% more, I'd probably own something else going down 5%. And I'm more, I think that's just the way it goes for everyone. You're looking at your own holdings and you're more likely to add your current holding. You shouldn't. It's probably a bit of a weakness, but hopefully I can resist the urge to look at other stocks and get basically the last stock I want to own is Heckler. The only other one is probably Goldfields now that it's down 15%. I used to own that. Anyway, Heckler, $5. If it keeps dropping, I guess I want to say 470, 460 to 470. Yeah, I'll leave it at 470 just to make sure I get it in case it doesn't go this low. 470, and then after that, 450. I don't see it going there. And we'll see. But yeah, $5 is definitely doable. So close at low of day and it lost this. On the move up, I would normally say you retested the ascending, but it's a bit too close. I would say 560. I've got too many lines here. You know, when I draw them short like that, it means like a weak short-term resistance. Although I guess I don't apply that rule all the time. Next one, EXK. Filled its gap on that day, refilled again today, although there's no such thing, and closed just there. So that's obviously 350 is obviously a level for me. Okay, I had it already. So 350, that's good. This is now, oh, it's just so close. It's not really a level, but it kind of might be 360. Okay, so 350, 360. Next level will be here. 380, very short-term stuff. It's just the last high. Yeah, here I'll leave all these levels because I think they're correct. They're just very nearby to one another. Now on the way down, yeah, this level ascending, it would coincide with the lows here. You see what I mean? 320. How much of a drop? This is still strong EXK. Ooh, that's way too much. It's not going to do that, especially after bouncing hard off its low. What about 340 this? I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to delete this and I'll just let Silver and SilJ do it. This is a strong one though. This is strong. I can also see a bit of a descending move here. Look at these little, wow, that's beautiful. Let's check real quick, 15 minutes, zoom out. Yeah, that's nice. This is going to be an easy one to trade on the breakout. Let's just okay. Yeah, this one's good, but it hasn't come down that much, so the value is still quite elevated for me. That's why I haven't added to it. Mag Silver, I guess that's the level. It closed pretty much there, 12, 16-ish. Keep going, 1160. I haven't thought of anything after that, unless it's the retest of descending on the way up. Yes, I agree, still 1320. Yeah, something like that. This one, bad day for it today, down 4.7%, but it's kind of, can I say outperformed recently? And normally it's just been crap nonstop, so I can tell that it's outperformed. Obviously today, not really the case. This one I'm not adding to because I remember how bad it's scorched me, but I do recognize fundamentally it's a decent company. I think I'm no expert in all this company reading, but I think it's quite a good one from what I understand. And the stock's been acting quite well recently, and it hasn't gone up as much as the others. So I'm okay just holding, not adding. If it goes down here, I guess I should add, but again, many others will probably be as good, if not better. a buy. Right, I am, no, normally I start with this one here, which I wanted to add, and I think I didn't get a fill right end of day. I realized, oh my God, this one has come down way too much. So I might add this one down here because the value's come down. I did nibble out of this one and I didn't buy back. It was on this drop and on the way back up, like 420, and I think I sold more here, I think. But either way, I didn't buy back since pretty much the retest here. So this one is lower in value than it should be. So I might buy that one back here if it gets to 370, which I think is support because it was resistance and we never really retested it except here, but it doesn't really count. So yeah, 370. If it keeps going lower, 350 maybe. I don't know. I'll recheck. This one's a bit strange. It's got a weird spread. It's not that liquid. So sometimes it looks like you should be filled, but you're not. But 370 on the way up. I'm just gonna say 450 again. 450. I'd probably trim that again, 448. And then after that, 480. All right, I am gold. This one, I feel like it's going to start to base. It underperformed. It was quite weak here when others were strong. But it kind of closed near the lows here, down 2.7. I just feel like its underperformance is reversing. So I feel like this 350 will actually be, even though we're almost there, I feel like it's going to be a bit of a zone of support. And if we start to flush, go to 330, I feel like it's going to start to have an outperforming iron gold again. So this one is probably a very good bounce play. And I think long term it's fantastic and all that. And the stock acts quite well here. It really did outperform. It's just a, bad news. I think it's dilution. Worst thing you can do, I think. Resistance. I'm not really looking at resistance. Probably somewhere up here. 373. I don't know. This one, I wouldn't be selling it anyway. Actually, I'd probably be just looking to buy it and not sell yet. Maybe sell up in the fall, just before the gap. I think that's where I would sell. So I'll keep this one extended. Or leave that like that. Right, next one is B2 Gold. And this one again touches the ascending, touch and bounce. But look, a lower close. You don't want to start getting too close. You're gonna have to flush and actually test 250 itself. But I mean, zoom out. This is the lowest of the lows since everything. So I don't think you can really go much lower. It's kind of ridiculous. It's a good company. I know there's that Mali overhang, but I think it's priced in too much. So, but it has to go down. You have a down day in the miners and the metals. You can't really have B2 Gold green 2% unless there's good news. Oh, it can happen, but I can also understand why it went down 1 point. It went down 4 cents, right? So tomorrow, if we have a small red day or unchanged, it'll probably be green 3 cents. But the point is, we are at ascending support. I think we have very nearby support at 250. So, I mean, I don't know, people selling or shorting this, maybe there's something better to short. Selling it if you own it, why? Because there's something else that can go up more. Okay, maybe, but that's the only real reason. So yeah, this is just held again. This is sending support, and if it keeps holding, next thing you know is it's going to bounce and leave the station. So 270 on the way up, mini resistance. After that, you could say 280, but you might as well wait for the descending, which is very clear, hit many times long term. So very clear resistance. Might as well keep that one as your reference. And if you break out of that, boom, should be a nice move up to basically 340. So I'm leaving all these in place. I'm not buying because I bought it recently. And I'm not selling until, I don't know, 340 probably, but I'm not selling that one in a while. Equinox. Again, this little area here, this between $5 and let's say 520 is probably 515. Very strong support. Yeah, we're down 1.7, but it's pretty much closing where it's been the last 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So 515 is good, and that's where we are again. 511 is the same as 515. $5, didn't even test it today. I'm quite impressed, and you'd have a good descending breakout to play here. We're far from it, but I think that would be a really nice, you bounce up. Let's get rid of this. It'd be something like Okay, reversal, up we go, and then bam, up we go. This will probably be resistance, the usual, something like that, and then some sideways action. Yeah, this will be a really good one to trade, Equinox. I feel the strength, and I feel like it wants to just have a few green days and break out. Finally, God, I try to get through it quickly, but it always ends up taking a long time. Wow, SPSW, I didn't realize that. Down 3%. You just get used to seeing it down 1, 2, 3, 4%. Before you know it, you're heading down to $4. Wow. I think platinum palladium were down 2% today. No, no, they were up. That's strange. That's a good thing. And you see me constantly doing this big circle here. That means I've bought this area. I'm not interested. Thank God I haven't been adding to it because this one would just be in the red. I think it still is, but I forgot what my average is. I'm definitely down, but not much. I didn't put too much in this. It's less than every single stock up here. But yeah, I guess platinum palladium have to react well here for this one to break out of 580. I'll tell you what though, next time it goes up to 580, I'm trimming. Even though I'll probably think this is the one, I'll trim a little bit there. Just because it's quite obviously going to go back down. And if it is going to break out, I'll break out after testing it once. All right, that'll do, guys. I hope I don't go through it too quickly. Goldfields, I showed you that at the beginning. Yeah, red day, but I don't know. For me, the thesis has not changed. China's not stopping its buying as far as I'm concerned. I think it's just pausing maybe for some of its allies to buy to get a chance to get lower price, or it's buying secretly a different way. I mean, you're not going to count on the Chinese government to tell you the truth. And also gold went up whilst China stopped buying. Isn't that supposed to be bullish? Which is the point quite a few people, Peter Schiff, Adrian Day, they mentioned. Um, Otherwise, the inflation data, I mean, that doesn't change anything at all. So for me, the thesis does not change. All roads lead to everything going up. Election year, geopolitics, it's just guaranteed to go higher. Miners, I mean, isn't oil going up a little bit? All in sustaining costs, like everything's cool. Everything's fine. We just got a bit of a drop because we went up a bit too fast. You're supposed to buy drops. So it hurts. I should have trimmed more. Instead, I got excited and bought more a bit too early. That's fine. I don't usually do that, but I think that's fine because I want to be absolutely heavy in when this turns. And I want to be in this for 1, 2, 3 years, and then it's like retirable stuff. So, and sometimes, when it's down 2%, don't stare at your screen. Go outside, go eat some flowers or something. Just go outside, enjoy, come back. Sometimes I don't even turn on the account if it's a big red day. I'll open up trading view here, view it, look at the charts, don't look at the P&L, and sometimes that's better. So which is why I didn't trade today. I didn't even open it. Yeah, there's that saying, a bull market is when you check your broker, your account every day. A bear market is when you stop looking. Now we only had 1 or 2 down days, but it kind of rings true sometimes when you've had a few down days. For me, I don't open the broker. I just do the long-term thinking, check some charts, and I'll just log in, buy quickly, and close before I can see the P&L if it's red. It's just small psychological games that sometimes help. All right. Anyway, let's see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully, we put this bad week behind us, and tomorrow we have a strong reversal. And then you realize it was all worth it enduring the down days and buying when there was blood on the streets. Otherwise, have a good evening.